What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Resident Casuals with our episode by episode breakdown of the Umbrella Academy. We're on episode 5, Valhalla, and this is what we like to call the Brolly School. I'm joined by BT. How are you, dude?
What's happening? What's happening? I'm all good.
That's good. Yeah, dude, episode
Good, good.
5. We're halfway.
Yeah, halfway through the series. It's a good. I'm always interested in an episode 5 because I think like, where are we going? This is the net. What are we doing? Are we going in like? Because it's only 10 episodes. Is this the end of the first arc or the beginning of a second arc? So it's always quite interesting episode.
Yeah, so like this, like on most series anyway, it's just like, will this be like a dull episode and then leave you with a cliffhanger, or is it actually going to say like, is this the end game of said series? But yeah, so like
Yeah.
speaking of end game of this series, so you were saying that series 3's been announced. Well, you were saying to me earlier.
Yeah. Seen it officially on Netflix's Twitter account. They've confirmed it's coming, and they put a picture up of all the cast as well. Let me have a quick check if it had some of the extras though. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking,
I'm curious to see if it
like,
has a certain character.
yeah, I'm
Like,
thinking about that as well.
yeah,
Where
I'd
am
be
I?
super excited to see it because it's got to be the hotel, doesn't it? That's the next series.
Well, I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
the
I don't
next
want to
series
go
when it
into too
comes.
much spoilers, but a big thing happens at the end, doesn't it? And I'm thinking, like, are we getting through that? Oh my god, there's so many. There it is. No, so the only people we've got on the picture are the main 7 and Pogo. They're the only ones that got tweeted.
The main
So you got to
7.
assume, yeah, Ben as well.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
So
That's interesting.
yeah, but I'm thinking,
Or is
surely they
or is
must have
that
added in the contract
or is
for
that
the season 3.
yeah? Or like I'm curious to see if that's going to actually be them.
Yeah,
Like is
like, and
it
I'm
like
thinking,
yeah?
do you know what I mean? I'm thinking, like, are we getting the handler? Are we getting what's her name again?
Lila.
Lila, yeah. Is she going to be in it? Do you know what I mean? Or are they just one season people? Is
Yeah.
Ray going to be in it? Do you know what I mean?
Who knows?
We don't know.
Yeah, and that's
No,
another.
no information at all, obviously. So
Yeah, I mean, like
about
it'll all be under wraps, and I wonder when it starts filming. I'm sure it won't start filming now, unless they're looking for like a Christmas time, like snow backdrop or what have you.
got to be New Year, hasn't it, for filming?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, it also depends where they are filming as well. Like, are they filming on, like, mostly in studios? Or are they actually going to be going to certain places? Because
Yeah.
in one of the behind the scenes breakdowns of, they said that they were filming in Canada. So
Okay.
that'll be interesting. So like Dallas on the show isn't obviously it isn't Dallas in the '60s, but it's
Yeah.
that's in Canada. Yeah, that's where they filmed it.
Yeah. Well, they film there because it's cheaper, isn't it? It's where they film Arrow and they film like all MCW shows. Like, Canada give them a better deal than you get like to film in LA, New York. It's extremely expensive, and that's why where we live in Liverpool, we get loads of filming as well
Yeah.
because you can make it look like New York for dirt cheap.
But they're also like they're filming the Batman here, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I was watching it,
Yeah.
watching the helicopter on the Liver building. It's
Yeah.
gonna look sick.
Yeah. It's
You
gonna
know,
look cool.
that shot on Batman Begins where he's standing on the thing.
Mm.
He's standing on that building, and it's just him on his own, and he's
Yeah.
got that big epic shot.
And the
They're
capes
gonna
flying
recreate
around
that with the
everywhere.
light. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
recreating that with the Liver building. I'm guaranteeing it.
Yeah. They'll just cut out the liver birds and just make them
Yeah.
gargoyles instead. Cool.
And
Go on.
spoiler alert though, if you don't want to know this, but they were filming some sort of funeral scene at St George's Hall,
Yeah.
which I suspect is that on the trailer. You know where the car comes in.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's on the trailer. Like as in
I
that funeral scene's on the trailer.
So I think that car comes in, hits it, and we're going to see the the exterior of that is going to be outside St George's Hall.
Yeah,
That's my theory so
possibly. Yeah.
far.
Yeah,
And I know they filmed.
there's so many theories going out. Well, speaking of theories, anyway, Sean and I did a breakdown on this channel, so if you want to check it out, go back to
Yeah.
Resident Casuals. I mean, you'll be on it listening to
There'll
this
be a
anyway.
link below.
Yeah, that'll be it. Well, I mean, you can always just press back and then you'll be on our homepage most probably. But anyway, I'll click the thumbnail. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we had a breakdown on when the first trailer came out, and
Yeah, I listened to it. It was very good.
yeah, we went right through it, and I stole Sean's Riddler theory. Well, not even theory. It was just like I was outright like, no, this isn't the Riddler. And then anyway, about 10 seconds before we started recording, I went, oh my God, it's the Riddler. So yeah, I'm cute.
Didn't you know it was the Riddler?
I,
Like it was common knowledge that it was the Riddler, wasn't it?
Well, I totally missed out on everything because I didn't fully go in depth on looking at the trailers until we went, okay, we're actually going to look at it. And then
Mm.
like I was just like I just kind of glossed over watching it and I was like, okay, that's this, that's them, whatever. And I missed all like the question marks, like the literal question marks everywhere around. So I was like, until I actually watched it full on and checked everything in the background, I was like, oh, hang on a minute. And then anyway, Sean was like, that's what yeah, it's funny.
Well, Paul Dano is one of my favorite actors, and I think he is going to smash some serial killer style thingo.
Yeah.
Some serial killer style Riddler. I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Also, did you see the birthday card that he sent? It's got owls on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, give me Owl Court. Give me those assassin people coming after him.
The
Give me all
talons.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that
The quarter
all day.
owls, the talons, and then like actually see what the underground is in well, not really underground, but like that secret society in the background, which is the court of owls. But like the fact that
Yeah.
they're running Gotham and I want him to actually like full on
Mhm.
explore it because the talons are so sick. And then
Yeah.
yeah, and also like on in the comics now, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, and previously Robin, he is now a Talon.
Yeah.
So
Really?
yeah, it's insane. Like
It's gone wild, hasn't it?
yeah, it's nuts. Like it's after he got shot
Well,
in the head.
the
Yeah,
film's going to be based on year 2, isn't it? That's what he said. He's taking his inspiration from.
yeah,
So I'm going to assume the Riddler is going to take the role of the Reaper and being a really hardcore version of Batman.
yeah. I don't think this is going to be a very ha Riddler. I think this is going to be like no solve this riddle because I am actually going to
Yeah.
blow someone up or I'm going to
I,
kill
it's
someone.
going to be more Jigsaw, isn't it? It's going to be more Jigsaw
Yeah.
than
Well, I hope so.
than
I
Joker.
want it just to be grim, like
I
actual
want it
like
to be, I want it to be so grim.
DC to proper shine and be grim, how it should be, you know. But
Yeah,
like,
I want that Gotham, that Batman. I want it to be so, as you say, just so grim. I don't want I want it to be like, why does anyone even want to be there?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? There's no reason. The only reason you're there is because you got nowhere else to go, type of vibe. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like you just in Gotham because
you just have to
everywhere
be.
else fucked you off.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you have to be. Do you know what I mean? And I love that. Like I want that energy.
yeah.
But I think Matt Reeves can do it. I think he's an amazing director. So
I know. I mean, you can look over the lake and whatever. Not over the lake, over the channel and see Metropolis and what have you, and then you just go, nah, too bright and too futuristic for me.
yeah,
I'm just gonna stick in the 19th century or Victorian era, I should
yeah.
say. Like looking Gotham and just be dark and depressed and whatever, and get mugged in an alleyway.
I was I was really disappointed though that I seen a mobile phone in the trailer, don't you? One
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
kids has got a mobile phone, and I
yeah.
was thinking, I was really hoping it was going to be like a '90s Batman.
No,
Do you know what I
they needed
mean?
to
I
move
was
forward.
really hoping about that because I'm
Yeah,
sick of the super technology that you get from Batman now. Do you know, especially the Nolan trilogy.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, they were supposed to have
I hate
years
Batman
when.
solves something with technology.
Yeah,
I like Batman who solves something.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Because he's clever. I don't
yeah.
like. Well, I got a thumbprint off a
A bullet
imaginary
that's
bullet that I
exploded. Yeah,
scanned. Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm like, Batman doesn't do that for me.
yeah.
Batman works it out
Well, that's when he had
himself.
loads of money, wasn't it? So, but like, whereas in year
Yeah,
two, he's got the money, but he just hasn't exactly opened the tap yet. Yeah. But
yeah,
anyway, let's move on. Let's enough about the Batman. Let's get
yeah.
into the Umbrella Academy. So, episode 5, Valhalla, which is it starts off in
Mhm.
1962 in Cape Canaveral, and you see Pogo in a crate, and it gets pushed into I don't know, I guess a lab,
Mm.
and you know it's pogo immediately, because if you would have seen
Yeah.
the first series, like, you understand like the connection between Mum, like, or Grace, and Pogo,
Mhm.
even though she's a
Yeah.
robot in the first one. But like you can see that, like, there's a bond between them. And
Yeah.
and then so he's getting trained up, and he's in like an astronaut suit almost, like, immediately, and you see Hargreaves in the background, and he's
Yeah.
looking at Grace and stuff like that, and you can start seeing, like, that's their background, how they flourished, and what have you.
Yeah.
And then Pogo gets shot out to space, and it all goes to shit pretty much. Like, everything was going fine. He did all what looked to be all the sequences went fine. Just one of them things just happened. It was just a freak accident or whatever. Maybe
Mm.
somebody sabotaged it. Guy in the glasses smoking constantly. Who knows? He may have.
Yeah.
And then he, yeah, crashes back down to Earth. Gets pushed back into the same lab, and Grace is freaking out, and he's, like, badly burnt, and it's only CGI, but the thing is, it's like you can see, like, the burns are
It's
pretty.
superb CGI.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's
It's
insane.
yeah.
And then yeah, then Hargreaves walks in with this miracle syringe, and obviously Grace has got nothing else really to do,
Mm.
but nothing else to do, I should say, but, like, she has no other options besides save him as best as possible, because he's got what looked to be a faint heartbeat. And then he just went, screw it,
Mm.
I'm just going to throw I'm going to throw this injection into his chest, which is some red liquid,
Yeah.
which is, not to spoil anything in the future. I mean, if you've been keeping up with this, like, and you haven't moved on from now, good on you. But I'm not going to spoil it. But if you know, you know.
Mm.
But, like, he's got some insane tech. It's like, whatever that serum is, it's otherworldly. um,
Mm.
and
Is that the serum he gives to Luther? Do you think?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say that would be that, because I'd say that serum helped Pogo with intelligence, and he was able to.
I honestly I assumed that it was the same serum that he gives to Luther.
I reckon he spliced him, because the way Luther explains that he got his body and stuff like that, Luther was severely injured, and, like, to a point
Mm.
where it's like he had to have a body swap. So it
No,
wasn't.
he doesn't.
Yeah, he explains it in the first one.
He,
You had to have, like,
was he? I can't remember.
he didn't get an injection. You had to, like, they more or less had to, like, splice genes into him. You had to, like,
Oh, okay.
he had to get tissue
Okay.
and whatever. Like, in other words, it's comic books. He just had to get a body transplant. They just
Yeah. Well,
cut
that's
his
what I
head off and
assumed
stitched it.
because it's comic books. I thought, well, they inject him with Pogo's DNA. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? That's what I thought it would be. Yeah.
like Bane
Like
for
like
Venom.
as you say. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I
villains for them.
assumed it was that. So I thought that red liquid or the injection to get Pogo would have been something similar. Or is it just showing that he can save people from the brink, and then he does it with Luther later on?
I think so. I think it's a prequel to, okay, this does
Yeah.
work. Yeah, it's
Okay.
very
Yeah.
much so. But, like, because the way I see it anyway, he took that, like, the serum goes through him, everything lights up, all his burns pretty much heal, almost all of them, and then you see, like,
Mm.
all the lights. Like, so if you look carefully, you'll see, like, it's like a wave of light that goes up him, and then as the light keeps going, everything heals behind it, and then it goes to his brain,
Yeah.
like, it goes to the top of his head, so his brain. So I'd imagine it healed, or just made him smarter anyway, turned him into the pogo that
Mm.
we know
Yeah.
in episode 1 anyway. Um,
Okay.
Straight after that, so 5 tells Lila to fuck off pretty much. Like, so it goes back to the Mexican consulate straight
Yeah.
afterwards, like, because on the last episode we left off with 5 saying something in Latin to Hargreaves, and Hargreaves
Yeah.
leaving, and then they have, like, a massive to and fro between, because Lila saves 5, which and
Yeah.
and and Diego's like, why don't you save me? Like, gets jealous, but also he's, like, on the side of 5, because 5's like, that you know how to fight, like, really well, yet we picked you up from an asylum. Like, we picked you up from, like, that
Yeah.
place where Diago was, and so like you're obviously talking shit, so like get away from it. And what he says is, next time I see you, I'll kill you, which is great because I was expecting, oh yeah, like there's no way she's just gone. I was like, this is all right. It's gonna kick off. It's gonna be awesome. And Diago and Lila
Yeah.
just have a bit of dialogue, and it's just more like they just break up with each other, which is
Yeah.
funny. Goes from there to Klaus's hangover. So he wakes up on the floor, and Ben's face is right there next to him, and he's just like, oh yeah, wake up. Like, how many times do you need to hit rock bottom before it is the actual rock bottom? And he goes,
Yeah.
I'm thinking 11 to 25, like somewhere around there. And then Allison walks down, and then Klaus slowly gets up and whatever, and Ben's like, this is that to me, this is the episode where you start like, you really feel sorry for Ben. Like Ben's just like,
Yeah.
like again, come on, like I'm so over this, like, but I
Mm.
can't do anything about it. And
Yeah.
also
They
another,
really start hammering that home.
yeah,
This episode, that Ben's like lonely. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he can't speak to his siblings.
yeah.
He knows what they're doing and they don't know he's there, and Klaus won't tell them.
Klaus
Do you
shuts
know what
him
I
out.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Klaus always fucks him over.
Mm.
So it's quite interesting to see where they're going to go with that.
To watch him go, well, to watch him say what he says next, like he's sitting on the chair, and Allison's saying like, you shouldn't be, like, why are you day drinking or whatever, like what happened and stuff like that. And he explains like he professes his love and his cult's back, and so he just decided to fuck sobriety off, really. And then Allison's like, oh well, yeah, right, whatever. And then she tries to get up and away, and Ben's like, yes, like I think he says like, at a girl or something like that. And then she ends up just going, well, sorry, Klaus says something along the lines of, your marriage is on the rocks or whatever. And she just goes, yeah. And then goes, all right, come on, get up. I've got a blender and tequila. And Ben just goes, oh no. Like, he just feels so sorry. He's just like, come
Yeah.
on, like you've got 6 days left. Let's do this.
Yeah. No, let me go. Can I just say about that? I really like how the show just shows that they are family in that way. Do you know what I mean? Like every now and then there's just hints where you're like, they're really opposite people, but then fuck it, let's get drunk. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they all have that like one attitude together of just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it, or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever two people are together, be it Allison and Klaus, they're all different types of people. So you got like Luther's very like withdrawn and like soft, and like Diego's very hard. But then when they're together, they just connect. Do you know what I mean? Like I do with my brothers. Me and my brothers, we're not the same. But then when we're there, because you just grew up with each other, you just understand their nuances and you just meld together.
Yeah.
And I think you get that they do that in the show really well.
I think this episode really highlights that exactly, like
Yeah.
the fact that opposites are attracting so much so, like Allison and Klaus, like maybe they're not exactly outcasts or black sheep for that matter, but they are kind of, they're not a main focus. Say for instance, so you'll see Diago and Luther come together. They're the heroes. So one's got a hero complex and one's battling a hero. Like
Yeah.
one is the chosen number one. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So like they come together. Five's by himself. Vanya's just Vanya. She
But
has a hell of
even
a,
five does it.
yeah.
Even five gets that like when they're there together and they're all doing something, you know what I mean? Like they'll
Yeah,
all
you
like
can
drink a
definitely
coffee
see.
or have a whiskey or
Yeah, they're
whatever it
definitely
is. They do
happy.
it dead naturally.
Mm.
It's dead natural. It feels dead natural.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So in other words, they start day drinking from then on in, and Ben goes,
Yeah.
"That sucks." And then I wish also, sorry, just to stay on that one a little bit. I wish Klaus told Allison that Ben's there.
Oh, lad, all I want him to say is just tell him he's there.
Yeah, yeah, like
Just say he's
so
there and he
much
can
so.
hear everyone and he's been there the whole time.
Oh, it sucks. Like, just
Do you know what I mean?
oh, it's so bad. Like, cause
Oh,
Ben's
like yeah, like just it's so sad.
because Klaus always just said, "No, he's not here. No one's here." Like, no, I'm by myself now. But
Yeah.
what I've also noticed is that Klaus is
Yeah.
heavily drinking, and he can see Ben still, and he can hear Ben still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe like that was an interesting thing, because on the last one, whether he did drugs or alcohol, and or alcohol rather, it would usually be that alcohol would stop it at first. But like, and now it's like he's heavily drunk. Well, he's wasted pretty much the whole time. Ben's still there.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or whether he's
Yeah.
following him, just Klaus can't hear him, but he's definitely there. And then we move on to Sissy and Vanya in bed, which is good. Like a very interesting start on like a new budding relationship, when you're like, awesome, like it's finally realized them two together.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because Sissy wakes Vanya up by blowing coffee, like the coffee fumes into her face anyway, and saying like, "Oh wow, it's late," and it's like I looked at it, it's like 10 to 9 in the morning. I was like,
60s, isn't it?
yeah,
Get up at the crack of dawn.
yeah, and they live on a farm, so in other words, yeah, it's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Yeah, all right, cool, I get it.
Yeah.
And then anyway, Sissy's just like, no, we deserve a day off, half a day, a few hours, and I was like, yeah, yeah. And then anyway, so they start enjoying it and stuff like that. And what I notice is like the camera work anyway. It was quite an interesting shot. It went straight to, whether it was meaningful or not, I'm not too sure, but the flash of the wedding ring. So in other words, it like panned
Mm.
straight onto her wedding ring as she was holding on to Vanya. And then unless it was
Oh, I didn't notice that.
yeah, so it like full on, like I wouldn't say blink and you miss it, but it was either like, but it was a very like, yes, I'm still like,
Yeah.
she's still married, like Carl is still a thing. And he ends up
Mm.
coming back, and Sissy freaks out and goes, "Oh my god, he's back! He's home early, as they always are."
Yeah, always
And
staying up early.
God, I just fly kick him in the face. Like I hate him so much.
Yeah.
And then, but anyway, we've got more to say about him later. But that's pretty much it. So like, I'm super stoked with that relationship. But then this is where it went well for Vanya, and all good things must come to an end, more or less. And then so
You know what I like though?
go on.
If I can just cut in one sec. I really like that this happened quick. How many shows would this have been the whole season for that one kiss at the last minute? Do you know what I mean? It did, but it was like no, 5 episodes in, they're in love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just a husband in the way, and it's 1960s, so they can't be in love. But you know,
Yeah.
like you just went with it, and I think I really like the way the show itself does that with everything. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't waste time going like, oh well, they might not. It'll take a couple of months. The only one they did that with was Luther and Allison last season,
Yeah.
which they dragged on a little bit too long. But then they've learned from that, and they've went, no, fuck it. Well, it's happening this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've had 5 episodes of build up. Go on, you're in.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Yeah. It would like progress the story because they have less time than they did last time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they even do it with like Diago and Lila. Do you know what I mean? You just understand that they like each other and that it's like they're almost together at this point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not like, oh, will he, won't he, or does she, doesn't she? Does she love him, doesn't she? It's like, no, well, she does. We all get it.
Yeah.
It's blatantly obvious. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's really good of the show. Not to treat us like stupid people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I hate when a show is like, and I'm talking about like The Flash, Arrow, all these shows, like, you know what I mean? Especially CW are terrible for it.
Yeah.
But they're always like, ooh, will they, won't they? For like, can we make a Ross and Rachel thing about it for 4 seasons? Like, no, fuck off. Just give me the relationship now.
Yeah.
Give me the relationship and let me see how it goes.
Yeah. And
Do you know what I mean?
and mostly like the CW, it always ends in tears, or it shatters, or
Yeah.
someone dies. But anyway, that's the CW. So we flash over to Ep5 and Luther. They're talking about Hargreaves, and like Luther's just cooking up that massive skillet full of eggs in Elliot's house, and
Yeah.
they're saying like, well, no one's seen Hargreaves, and Luther says, well, actually, that's not entirely true. So I thought this was quite interesting, like that Luther and Klaus, they're the only two to have actually left Dallas, like to actually have left
Yeah.
Texas. Like they're the only ones that have full on gone around the place, whereas everybody else has been living there for so long, they just stayed there. Or maybe Diago couldn't really help it because he was stuck in a mental asylum. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he was. Did he have a straitjacket on? No. Oh well, I think
Yeah, he
maybe
did at one point.
he did at one point. Yeah. So he got pushed in there. So it flashes to him traveling around and stuff like that, and he makes it to Hargreaves' house. Now this is what I was trying to figure out: is was Hargreaves like was he meant to be a playboy, or is it all a bit of a ploy? Like that party's a distraction, so we could actually talk business, but like disguising it under, like them two intellectual types at a party full of drunk people and they're dancing
Yeah.
and whatever. But they're in full view of everyone, like so hiding in plain sight. That's where I was trying to go.
Yeah. I think he's doing a hiding in plain sight. I think he's being Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a philanthropist, and we love everything, but in the background, he's got some serious stuff going on.
Yeah, well, not even in the background because he was talking to dude with sunglasses, wasn't he? Like in front of everybody, talking about space travel and all this other stuff, and he's just like, well, they're
Yeah.
both obviously massively like involved in the space travel and well,
Mm.
pogo as you saw at the start of it, and
Yeah.
so like yeah, so I'd imagine yeah, that's a very good point actually. Yeah, like hiding in plain sight, like I'd say so, and then
Hmm.
um Luther walks in and pretty much confronts him and just says, like, I am your son. And Hargreaves goes, like, I hate children. Like the idea, like he's not compelled by any means to have one at all. And yet he's got
Yeah.
Pogo. Whether this is before or after, I'm not too sure. Like, so I didn't really know the timing of this
Mm.
because he's having that Playboy party. I mean, understandably, watching like this is a rewatch, and we know what he is, who he is. The party is like maybe he's not interested in normal things such as parties,
Yeah.
like and what comes with parties, but he's more interested in champagne and having an intellectual chat with a chain smoker. And he ends up.
I'll say this though
Mm,
about this scene.
mm,
Luther's amazing. Like
mm,
honestly, Luther's been is coming out more and more as the series comes on.
yeah,
At first, I thought he was a bit whiny and
mm,
a bit get on me,
yeah,
but then he's becoming so endearing. His
mm,
face, he just looks sad all the time, like a
yeah,
puppy.
yeah. Well,
Do you know what I mean? Looks like a sad puppy who's being told off all the time, and I'm like, oh,
he's been
I
forced.
hope it comes all right.
He's been forced to be humble now, hasn't he? So
Yeah,
like, so he's and like yeah, he's just pushed down, and he's just like, oh, you know what? He's like, I'm no longer number one. Like I'm just Luther.
yeah,
I'm just a dude in 1960s Dallas. And then,
yeah,
and especially after Hargreaves like just full on rejects him and just says, go back home because you stink and your simian proportions, which I thought was quite interesting. Like they're very well. Like he picked that up immediately, and then he's like, "You made me this way," and he's like, "I don't care. Like go home. Like go to back to wherever you just came from."
yeah,
Yeah, and then you just see Luther just go "Ooh," and pull the big sad face. So after that, it goes back to the farm, and it's Carl's home, and he's explaining that he's talking about he's just done a massive sale with shower heads or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't really asked about what he's saying, as you can imagine. And then so it's seeing like before he walks through the door, really, it was just there. They have an awesome dynamic, which is Harlan, Vanya are great together, and then you're seeing Sissy happy in the kitchen, like washing dishes or whatever she was doing. But like she looked over and she was happy seeing them two at the table talking and well, not talking, but them two at the table. And then anyway, Carl comes in, ruins it, and whatever. Carl starts like feeling up Sissy and what have you, and she's like, no, no, no. And then you can see Vanya's getting way pissed off, and they're playing like that surgeon simulator game. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, but like you touch
Operation.
Operation, yeah, and you touch the sides and it buzz, and then anyway it all starts buzzing, and Vanya's just getting like more and more frustrated. So she ends up using like her powers overload sort of thing, like a shockwave, and cracks one of the windows, and Harlan immediately looks up, grabs her hand, and I was like, that's awesome, that because it's like that leads to more theories of, is there a part of Vanya now in Harlan, or is it just
Yeah,
because they share the same powers, like he knows, or is it just like, did he know anyway? beforehand.
Mm.
And then like I was expecting way more, like more of a bang than just a crack. Like the sink exploded or whatever, as well as, and
Yeah.
like just to full on make a distraction, not just like this is a warning shot sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is, if you did that, if you made a big explosion, you've then got to explain it.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? A crack in the window could have been a stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bit of wind. Oh, sorry, cracked the window. Cracked. Oh my god, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
I mean, the sink blows up. You've got to
Yeah.
be like, well,
Yeah.
who done that?
Yeah.
You know
Like,
what I mean?
oh, there must have been a
But I
blockage
think,
in the pipes.
but I think you're right though. I think it's showing that Vanya's got more control over the powers
Mm.
because she'd have killed everyone.
Yeah.
Well, in season 1, she'd have killed everyone. So
Yeah, she could have just
it's
blown up the
she
house.
must she must be getting more control.
Mm. And then Harlan knowing about it as well. It's just like I would like to see more of that. Like
Yeah,
some way
because
that
if he's
Harlan can communicate with her.
because if he's so severely autistic, which is what he seems to be,
Mm.
to the point where he can't look at people, he can't speak.
Mm.
Obviously, modern times it might be less,
Mm-hmm.
but like we're in the 60s, so we can't he's really severely affected by it. How could he even do that?
Mm.
Do you know,
That,
how could he even look up and take a hand if he's that severely autistic? So something's changed.
yeah, well maybe the power that was given to him,
Yeah, the
maybe that's
light that
helped.
went in.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
cedar light sort of thing. Yeah, when maybe that's just made him a little bit clearer,
Mm,
or he's I don't know. Don't know. I guess we'll find out later on.
yeah.
Then anyway, after the bloody mirror cracks, uh, Carl just looks around and just sees Vanya with a face on. Sissy walks off, and as Vanya's walking away, Carl gets that face of like something's happened here. Like I know what's
Mm,
happened, and I was like, no, damn it, like run away already, or like blow him
yeah.
up because I know you can. Like,
Yeah.
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 Anyway,
Just kill him.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Fuck it.
just
Just kill him.
do it. Why not? Like you've got the power. I'm sure no one else will care. Like you're on a farm.
Yeah.
Straight after that, so Lila meets with the handler and back in their hotel room, and they
Mm,
start talking about. Well, Lila's pissed for starters. It's like you set me up, and the
yeah.
handler's like, "Did you get what I need?" Blah blah blah. And while she's like sitting there with a hot glue gun making a new dress or whatever and stuff like that, I thought that was quite funny. Like she's
Yeah.
just sitting there doing arts and crafts in a hotel room because she is. She's
Well, here's a
freelance
question. Is she stuck there
in the hotel room.
in 1960s?
No, I don't think
The
she's stuck
handler.
there. I don't reckon she's stuck there at all. I reckon
Well,
she
why
can.
wouldn't she leave and come back?
Well, because
Or maybe
AJ.
she is and we haven't seen it.
Well, AJ's in the commission, isn't he? He's the new boss. So she's just gone. See you later.
Mm,
So she's just
yeah.
grabbed a suitcase and just left and went, well, I don't need to be there. I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to be my own rogue agent and I'm going to go finish what I
Okay.
started. So, like, I think she can go wherever she wants, really. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because AJ's in
We
the
just never see
commission.
it.
Yeah. But also, she needs to control the Swedes and make sure that they do what they need to do. They start talking about the commission and what they need to do. Lila says that I've lost 5 because he kicked me out of like the merry little band. They start talking about like the lies that the handler's been telling her, and you know the biggest lie, as we saw at the start, is the handler
Yeah.
was there when she took Lila as a like not a baby, but I'd say as like a toddler, maybe a little bit older,
Yeah.
and then
Whatever age a toddler is.
yeah, and I was like, okay, so and Lila didn't click about that at all, did she? So
No.
no, but like you could just see in like big shining neon letters, "This is a lie," and you still don't know. So and then there was something I saw actually. I'm not too sure if you saw it, but the on her arts and crafts table, there was like a sand. I think it says sandpaper, but it was something on the box. But anyway, it was the bear head for um oh bloody what's his name, one of the assassins in last season. It was Char Char and Hazel. Hazel's bare head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like that was on the.
Oh, the
That was
head that he wears.
yeah. So like it was on the logo.
Oh,
It was the logo for that,
okay.
and that was. So there's one of the things missed that I was supposed to do. But anyway, I saw that. They're everywhere. The sparrows all around the place as well. But
Yeah,
there's
there's
one
like
in that
30
room.
of them, isn't there?
Yeah, there's one in that scene as well. I think it's to the back. Like you can see it behind the bear, or you can see it on the craft table itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we haven't gotten to the sparrows yet anyway. So, um,
Let's maybe
yeah,
take that off then.
nah, it'd be
Edit
fine.
that.
Nah, it'd be fine. I'm gonna leave it in.
Hey, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we'll push it a bit further.
Well,
But
it's
anyway, if you can find the sparrows, you'll wonder as to why, and none of them are alive
yeah.
either. So there you go. There's a little action item for you. Then straight after that, so we go to Elliot again with the Jello, and he's like explaining about the history of Jello, and it just looks so grim. Whatever it is that
It
they've
does.
got, is it like
It does look grim. And you know what makes it look worse is that I watched. Do you watch Bake Off?
no, God no.
I mean, you should watch Bake Off. It's amazing.
Yeah, okay.
But they did a jelly week, so they
Right.
made really nice ones. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
And they had like beautiful, like all these like beautiful like flowers in, and like some guy did like a beach inside the jelly and his cake and
Wow.
all that. And then you see his one, and it's like, that
It
looks
looks like
horrible.
sour gummy worms in mayo. That's
Yeah,
what it looks like. It's
yeah, it looks horrible.
disgusting. And then anyway, so and the funny thing is Diago's like, if you shut up, we'll like sorry, if we eat it, will you shut up? And he's like, yeah. And then he starts scooping it into a bowl, and you see Luther's face is like, oh god, like because he's just slopping it into a bowl. Ugh, it's horrible.
It's nasty.
And then so from there, from that little funny moment, they do like that really cool superhero unite walk up to the handle because Klaus, Allison, and Five walk back in after he's gone and got them, and two of them are wasted, and Five's fine.
Yeah.
And Vanya sees Allison, and then Allison says like, "Oh well," just kind of just goes Vanya, and then Vanya says, "It's so good to have a sister. Like I can't believe I have a sister." And then walks down the stairs, and Allison hasn't figured it out yet that she has no idea who she is.
Yeah.
Like besides the fact it's a sister, like she doesn't remember anything. So that was good, and like that was like a really touching moment, especially when she said like, "I missed you," and the apology was quite good as well. Like they all like apologize more or less to each other, but the main two was the one that made me go, oh, finally, okay, well, we're all moving on now. Or so I thought, because the next thing that they all start going through is the fact that they all actually no, sorry, I'm skipping a scene here. So it goes back to the handler and the Swedes, and I thought this scene is so good. The Swedes don't talk and they deliver tension really, really well.
Yeah.
Like all it was is the handler and Lila rock up to the place that is infested with cats, and then Lila, the handler tells Lila like you've been really good at climbing. She gives her a message, drops it down the chimney. Then they read it and whatever, and I immediately thought it was going to be like a bloody bomb or whatever. But also, one thing that I picked up as well on the rewatch was that it wasn't a perfectly sealed canister. So the top of the canister was made out of like it's like the lid, if you will. It was made poorly. It wasn't like the bottom of the canister. So yeah. So anyway, but like they just like
Also, there's no door. There's always a door, isn't there?
yeah, it's always
So
like
you always hear the tube, and then
yeah,
a random thing opens,
yeah,
and it shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like whoop, and then you like
yeah,
open up like this bit here behind me,
yeah,
boom, and then they open it, and it doesn't, and that comes down the chimney as
yeah.
well.
That's it. Like it's just dropped down the chimney. But like one of the other brothers pick it up. So like the main one doesn't exactly just know where it came from. It's just like okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then anyway, they get coordinates for Diago, and so they all just sit there and look at it and go, cool. And all right, that's the next job. Then we fly back to Elliot's, and the first thing they pretty much start talking about is how they've all screwed the timeline. So they've all absolutely screwed it. And Diago is right though that they're all pretty much linked to JFK, besides Klaus, I guess. Like Klaus and Vanya, they're the only two. Well, Five's different. He started the whole thing anyway. So now they're all part of JFK, or they all just happen to be in that position, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually have anything to do with JFK. It's just that they're there. Like they're just doing things which happen to be, like Luther works for Ruby. Allison's doing like the racial inequality and stuff like that, and
and I think it goes back to what we were talking about before, of like this scene exactly is perfect for how well they all interact with each other as like family.
And Ben.
Like it's up, down, and Ben, they're arguing, they're laughing, you know what I mean? They're taking sides, and then they're fucking that side straight off immediately later, like one word later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, I'm with you now, and then they're like, oh no, actually, fuck that, that's a terrible idea. I'm over here, and it's going everywhere, and they just have like a really natural family unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a dysfunctional family unit, like part of it, but it just comes across really well. It's like they're really good actors with it. They obviously like each other. They're all friends. They all obviously get on, and you can tell that in the performances. I think it's really good.
That's it, because like while that's all going and happening, it's instead of it being like an explosion of shit happening, I think it's more like a party popper goes off and all the streamers fly everywhere instead. So it's all colorful and it's happening. It's not shrapnel and anything ricocheting off the bloody walls, and like I thought that was quite good. But Diago, I've got here like Diago's right, and then Five gets teary for a second, and then pretty much it all just starts like screwing up, because Five more or less says like, I'm sorry, like I didn't want this to happen, but we all need to come together. And then anyway, Luther just bails and he goes, no, can't do this, I'm not having it anymore, whatever. And then just walks out. Diago follows him. Sorry, Luther, Diago leave. Five just goes to stop them, gets thrown off the staircase, bamps into the alleyway, and sees Lila, but we'll come back to that. And then the people that are left are Vanya, Allison, and Klaus, and he's just eating that Jello, and he's like, you know what I really want? Tacos. It's like, yeah, anything's better than whatever that is. Like, far out. Like, it's just, it's horrible. And then, so Vanya's the only one, like the sensible one, obviously, because two of them are drunk. But Vanya's like, is that going to do anything, like, to the timeline? They're like, man, we'll find out. Whatever, don't care. Like, we've all more or less got a superpower. Like, it's nothing new to them. They've been doing it since they were kids. It's like, yeah, whatever. Just because the world's ending, it's just another crisis that we have to deal with. So anyway, back to Five out in the alleyway. Lila's there, and she runs away, obviously, to follow him, to get him to follow her. And they run for like some time. Like, if I'm correct, like in the next scene, you see that they are running out of town, and like
like in a warehouse district-y vibe, innit?
Yeah, and then that warehouse district is like, you can see the town behind the warehouse. Like, how far have they been running? Like, it's like
half an hour.
Yeah, it's like it's like the GTA or whatever. They've run from one side of San Andreas to the other. That's a very old reference, but anyway.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. So before we get to that warehouse district, anyway, so Diago and Luther, they're walking down the alley, and then I'm not too sure if you picked this up, but did you see there were blatant like smoke machines on the floor, or like smoke canisters that were pointing to the walls, like obviously to hide like the fact that it's not 1960. So they've put cars there and whatever. So anyway, as they're walking down the alley, there's 3 smoke machines. There's 2 which are pushing up against a wall. And it's like, it's Dallas, Texas. It's hot there, like really hot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like, someone is running some massive amounts of steam through the floor. And like, I work on places where steam comes out of the floor like that. that's not what it looks like on a hot day. Like, so I was just like, I'm not too sure if I just picked it up, but I was just like, that's a lot of smoke, man.
I
Or
think
that's a lot of
I think
steam.
that's a really specialist thing that you know about.
Yeah,
That means that you're the only one
I
who
think
can
so.
see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because I just
No,
saw
hang
it.
on.
Yeah, because I
Pipes and steam.
yeah
That's my domain,
yeah,
and that
more or
doesn't
less.
work.
Because I was like, that's yeah, I just couldn't get over it. But then anyway, so I paused it and looked at it, and I saw what it was covering anyway. It's like
Mm,
the very far one. It's covering what seems to be the rest of the street, but it's covering half a car. So in other words, where that car's parked, it must be like, I don't know,
yeah,
like a new, just something which is new. Obviously, like, well,
yeah,
of our time now anyway, or probably just a set of street lights which are new or something like that.
yeah,
Um, as they're walking down, so Diego says that he's a hero, and so Luther's saying like I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to live my life. I don't care if the end of the world happens. Like he's
mm,
given up pretty much. And Diego's saying like, no, I'm a hero. This is what we need to do. They have an argument. It's not exactly touching by any means, but you do realize that this is Diego's part where he's being that ninja. He's being that Batman. He's being that assassin
mm,
because he picks up on the fact that ever since they left Elliot's, they were getting followed by that long black
yeah,
car. And then what comes out is the invitation, which is from Hargreaves and says, "Come for a light supper," which is then it's uh, they just kind of look at it and go like, "Okay, so we're all invited." And Luther's face is so funny because he's just so like, "What has just happened here? Like, what
yeah.
is
He's
going
so
on?"
confused.
Yeah, and then like Diego's just onto it. He's just like, "Yeah, okay, I'm accepting it, whatever." Um,
Yeah,
so then we go to the salon after that, and I thought this was quite good because these three are the only ones. Like five is trying to break down everything that's happening, but no one's listening to them. And
and
then
no one cares.
no one cares because it's just five,
No
and
one
he's
cares.
clearly the intellectual, and
Yeah,
everybody else is whatever. So they break it down really well, and I think they break it down better because they're all drunk. They're all sitting there like they've all had booze. So I think the truth
yeah,
serum comes out, and this is where they all start relaying it properly. But they are still hiding stuff from Vanya. Maybe not hiding, but they're just like, oh, we'll come back to it later. Like, whatever. It's a lot to
yeah,
explain because they explain about like how Allison was in love with Luther or whatever, like, since they were kids and stuff like that. And
yeah.
Vanya goes like, hang on a minute, isn't it your brother? And then she's like, technically. And Klaus goes, if you have to say technically, you're already in trouble. Like, stuff like that. Like, and but the fact that they're breaking it down and everything just makes sense now. Like they explain more or less the whole first season in about 20 seconds. They
Yeah,
explain where they are now. Like, do they have to face everything to move forward? Um, so Klaus explains like I need to go and see my cult, and Allison says I need to go and face Ray, and I need to tell him the truth. And Vanya says I need to tell Sissy I love her. And they break it down so well and quite quickly. And then anyway, they go from that into a dance scene because they all have like a massive hug, and that was lovely. Like this is where Vanya's having
loved it.
this is where Vanya's having the time of her life now because she even says like I love this family. This family's great. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you should. Like, great. Why don't I think everyone should get drunk from now on? Maybe I don't know. Maybe that'll lighten them up. But
yeah. I
and
just love how like Vanya didn't, even before she had no in season one, she's still weren't a part of the family, and then she lost her memory. She's still not a part of that family, and within one drinking session, they're all just in flow
yeah,
again. They're in sync as a family unit,
yeah,
not a dysfunctional unit, but they still like the mannerisms and the way they
mm,
speak and just the banter that they have. It's just so well written,
yeah.
and you can proper tell that the writer is Steve Blackman,
Steve Blackman. Okay,
and he's got to have had a big family.
maybe. Yeah.
I'm not having that he hasn't, because it's so well written, and it's like one of my favorite parts of the show. I think how
Or
well of like no matter what's who in a scene, you know that they're related, even though they're not. Do
mm,
you know what I mean? Like I think it's done so well. I love
yeah,
it.
or whether like he's just the writers' room that they've got that they all click really
Yeah.
well. Maybe,
Mm.
but
And the actors acting and the
Oh, yeah.
direction, it all comes together to do it. But it's just talking like in the sense of just them, yeah.
Yeah, they've done the first season. Like they're all happy with each other. Well, from what I know anyway, like that no one's outrightly said like I hate this person or whatever, or this person's done this or whatever. So I think they all get along. But after the dance scene, so where everything's super happy and they all sit back down and then okay, like that you can tell that they're all just like okay, it's time to do this because they're not coming back after. In Klaus's words, Diago and Luther bro it out in 5, I should say.
Yeah.
So it cuts to Swedes in the forest, and they're walking through. This scene was brilliant as well. I'm not too sure. Have you seen Sabrina on Netflix as well?
Christina's watched a bit. I haven't watched it properly. I've seen her watching it.
Right. It's really good. Like coming from like the Archie comics and stuff like that. Like, because when we were younger anyway, Sabrina the Teenage Witch was very different to this. Like, very different.
It was a sitcom, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, like it was.
The old one was a sitcom.
Yeah, it was just is what it is, and it wasn't really much to do with the comics because I've read a few of the Archie comics with Sabrina in it, and it's grim. Like, anyway, to not to go far off, I think this is shot there in the same forest that they do most of them scenes because those trees look quite similar. Like there's this pathway through it where they're walking, and there's this split tree, and I know loads of trees do look alike, but I was like, this looks way too bang on. Yeah. Anyway,
probably filmed all in the same place, isn't it?
Probably, yeah, probably. But if you haven't watched Sabrina, it's good. It's gory and it's surprisingly scary for what came from the comics, and it's definitely not what you saw when you were younger.
Yeah,
it's so good. So the Claymore setup. So they're looking for Diago. They see the knife, and then that one unfortunate brother walks in, trips the Claymore, blows up. The only thing that's left is his boot and half his shin. and he's just, it's quite a funny thing, but still builds up tension. So it's like, are they taking the Swedes out, or are they egging the Swedes on to hurry up and complete the mission? Maybe both. I'm not too sure. Like, what do you reckon? So like they've just framed Diago.
I think it is what it is. It's a frame. It's go kill him now. We need you up there. You're not getting nowhere near them. You haven't done a good job here. Step it up. And it's It's essentially a punishment.
Yeah.
For being crap at your job.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So like they've just taken way too long. So after. I forgot to say as well, after everyone bails as well, it goes back to Ben sitting there, and he's just like, oh, I've missed you so much. And it's like, oh, I feel so sorry for you.
Oh, yeah. It's so bad. And he's like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, why?
Be there with them.
Yeah, just like, why can't you all just get along? Please, for once, like, you know what's going to happen. So anyway, as we alluded to earlier, it's 5 and Lila go into that fight scene, and they're in the warehouse. Now, this is, as you were saying before, this is my area of expertise because I was like, I know exactly what everything's going on in that room, pretty much. Not the fight scene, just the warehouse itself. Because I was like, I've been there.
What they're making, what they're selling.
Yeah, it's just paint. It's all it is. It's just a knockoff of Ace Chemicals, really. Yeah, so like I thought that fight scene was really, really cool, and I think the Billie Eilish cover was really, really fun as well. Like, well done.
I didn't notice any cover.
Yeah, so like,
what was the song?
Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy." So like,
never heard it.
Really? Wow. Okay. Wow.
I'm an old emo, Scotty. I did literally all I do is listen to emo music still.
Mate, I'm there with you.
I listened to My Chemical Romance today in the shower. I got a shower and I listened to Jello himself.
I was listening to Bring Me the Horizon as well, like the new albums. The new albums.
Yeah, I've heard it's boss.
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah, like as in, I wasn't expecting Baby Metal to be like. I've seen their shows from afar and whatever, and I go like they do amazing shows, but I didn't think it was like that good. But like they remind me.
Like, is the album with Baby Metal?
Yeah, like they Baby Metal feature on a song. Yeah. Like it's really, really good. Anyway,
I'll have a listen to that.
So while that fight scene goes on, you think that like 5 does a like really good job of acting like, oh my god, you've got me here. Like, wow, you're moving over there and you're doing this. Wow, that's so cool. And yet he knows exactly what he's doing because he is the best assassin in the commission.
Yeah.
Still, clearly. He says,
Yeah.
all you, like he said, so anyway, he pins down Lila and with the foot on the neck, it's something to remember, that one thing. So anyway,
Okay.
so as he's got a pin down, he goes, "You can come out now." The handler goes, "Oh, you figured it out." And he's like, "Yeah, well, like you fight like every other commission crony," which would lead me to believe that he's the best assassin because he knows the commission, who are very good at fighting, plus his own
Yeah.
fighting style from when he was a kid. Like, never
Yeah,
mind.
and he figured out she was part of the commission.
Yeah.
By her fight style.
Yeah, exactly. So, like in the last scene, which would be in the hallway of the Mexican consulate. So that's why he's like, as he was saying, like, you fight really, really well. So
Yeah.
like, so get away from me. So yeah, I thought that was interesting as well. That they finished it on that. Like, they finished that scene on her just walking out saying, "Ah, you figured it out, whatever." Like, smoking as per. So we get from there and we go to Vanya at the farm, and I even rewatching it, my stomach sank. I was like, no, like, I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. So, and this is another thing as well. It's like, because Vanya's not in the house, like, Sissy just gets worried sick. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's because of this scene. That's why she's worried. She needs her there for backup or whatever. But like, she could go to the shop. Like, I feel like Vanya would go to the shops and Sissy would come back on. "Oh my god, Vanya, like, you're back."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
100%.
like, where have you been? It's
When,
like, you've just given me $20 to go to the shop. Like, where do you think I've been? You know what I mean?
like, when and if they ever run away together,
Mm.
Sissy would be terrible to live with.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Oh, I was just on the toilet, and she's coming in, she's sweating, she's
Yeah.
rang the police."
Yeah. I thought you were in the shower, but the shower wasn't running. I'm in the same room as the shower. Yeah, so so Vanya professes her love to Sissy, and Sissy's like, "This is a bird time, this is a bird time."
Yeah.
And anyway, like, you hear the TV in the background and whatever, like, she's in like a nightie and whatever, and then Carl walks out and he's only wearing his boxers and whatever. And at this point, it makes me think, like, even on the first one, I was like, he knows, he knows something's up. Like, you can
Yeah,
just
it's a
feel it.
dominance thing, innit, coming out
Yeah,
in your bills.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he came out and he says, "Oh, well, you caught me naked, whatever. So you're pretty much part of the family anyway," sort of thing. And I was like,
Mm.
"Okay, yep, cool. Bound to see it anyway." Um, Yet again, I hate him so much, the smug bastard, isn't he? So, he anyway, so he walks out with Sissy and he's like, "Come on, like, let's go back to bed." And Sissy must be, the way she snaps at Vanya, she must be so confused on what to do. So she's doing her best to hide it from Carl.
Yeah.
She's doing her best not to show her love for Vanya, like, so it's
Yeah.
that obvious. Like, she's doing her best to hide it. And I think that, like, you can just see the second where Vanya's heart snaps in half, like, whether
Yeah.
she's drunk or not, you know. But like, you can see like, that second where it just goes like, "Oh, you've really hurt me there." And she ends up running out, and Sissy's just like, "Okay, well, I can't do anything because I've got to go back into that TV room with Carl while he's drunk, and and I don't want to be next to him, but he's my husband." But she's got that, she has a sense of duty, if
Yeah.
that would make sense.
It's a very 60s thing, isn't it? You've got, you know what I mean? We have to remind ourselves that, like, it is the 60s, so
Yeah.
you didn't really have the choice to leave someone.
No. Or like,
You know what I mean?
divorce wasn't really a thing besides a smart, like, no, smart's the wrong word. Like, forward thinking couple, I
Yeah.
guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Or rich.
Yeah, or rich, yeah. But even
You
then,
know
you'd
what
be
I
like,
mean? Yeah.
we're split up, but you just live on one side of the mansion, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Vanya leaves, and then anyway, the Viking funeral starts, and I thought that was, the scene's so funny, so brilliant, but also quite, like, it was like an emotional roller coaster.
Mm.
But it starts off funny because in the background it was like it was a Swedish version of a song which I just couldn't think of. Like, I was rolling
No.
through my head and I forgot what it was, but if you listen to it again, you know what it is. Like you'd be like, I understand what the backing track is. So the Viking funeral. So he fires a blazing arrow and goes into the boat, and all that's there is his
Yeah.
boot and half his shin and the bone. And then anyway, like they're both sitting there like really crying. It pans over to Luther yet again eating a massive plate of food, and Diago's sitting there at like the barbecue, and they're looking at
Yeah.
the notes with Hargreaves, and everyone, and then so it goes from there to Allison, who walks in and just says, "Ray, sit down, like shut up, I'm telling you the truth." And Ray's like, "Okay, yeah, like cool."
Yeah.
Like he just has to take it now. This is what it is. Klaus goes back to his cult, walks in. You can just see the regret over his face. He's devastated that he's in there, but he's just
Yeah.
like, I've got to face it now. Whether it's the fact that
Yeah.
it's like because he can't go back to Allison's house because Allison was like, Ray's going to be there, you can't be there, or whatever. But
Yeah.
even though he could have just crashed at Elliot's, I imagine. But he went, no, I've got to face it. So what I was thinking, so what I've written here is everyone faces the truth or their priorities. Maybe it's both. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But like everyone's like, it's all so from everything that we've ran away from, we've got to come back and rebuild. Well,
Yeah.
that was my feeling, and also with the Swedes, like the Swedish rendition of that song going on in the background and whatever, and one of them screams, and oh man, it was so funny. Like it's meant to be a heart wrenching moment, but that's just funny. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like this little tiny dinghy in like a little farm lake that's on fire, which also was another thing. It's like just before, as they knocked the arrow and let it loose, it went through the sky, and Vanya saw it. So whether it was just like one of them transitional scenes, like it might have
Yeah.
just been whatever. But I was like, they are super close to each other. Like I'm really surprised how close
Yeah.
they are. But anyway, and yeah, so thus ends that episode with the Viking funeral and
Well,
everyone
you
coming
know
back
what?
together.
I like that ending because everyone's made a decision,
Mm.
meaning something's going to happen now
Yeah.
because the decisions, everyone made the decision, do you know what I mean? Like, Five figured it out. Luther and Diago went, we're going to this.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? The Vikings, the Swedes have made that decision. Out, fuck it, we're having this now. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
when, and everyone's done it. Like, Vanya's made the decision. She's went and said it. Got rejected. Fuck it. Klaus has made his, and it's just, it means that the next episode, things have to happen. Because they've made a decision. That's part of the process, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like they've said, fuck it, yeah, let's move on now.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's everything's happening now. Everything's in place as you were saying. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's got nowhere to go but progress the story rapidly
yeah,
in my eyes anyway. It's
yeah,
yeah,
same.
it's got to happen. So it's all going on. So Vanya's like what it comes back to is Vanya's had her heart wrenching, gut wrenching moment. So it was like everything was happy. Now she's had the crash. It's got to build back up, or she's got to get angry or whatever, you know. So
Yeah.
that's the way I saw it. Also, did you notice that they didn't CGI the driveway again?
I was thinking,
Yeah,
I was hoping they did it. I was like, oh my god, please do the shit CGI. Just make it a joke.
yeah.
Make it a joke. Shit CGI.
But the thing is
But
like
no.
she walks so far down the driveway that I reckon that when they CGI'd the driveway, it was meant to be huge, but clearly it's not. It's only meant to be like 20 meters long.
Yeah.
You know, so like not even that fast. So she walks 10 meters and they go, okay, stop, and then they just turn the whole set around. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. Like there wasn't a
Yeah.
great deal of CGI in this one. Well, that I noticed anyway.
No.
So I think they did a good job of
Well,
that.
apart from it all went on pogo at the start, I imagine.
That's it, yeah. Like, and
Do you know what I mean?
and that was bang up. Like, they must have run out of money
Oh, it's good.
for
That
that last episode where they did the
100%.
CGI, with the green screen. But yeah, funny, very funny.
Yeah.
So
It was
yeah,
good.
and then so the next episode is the Last Supper. No, a Light Supper.
No, I liked up there.
Yeah, so that's episode 6. So that'll be back. So yeah, so thank you very much for listening, everyone.
Yeah,
We've got
thank you very much, everyone.
we've got episodes coming up. So I'm finishing off Mortal Shell. I'm up to the last boss now. I went through the abandoned chambers on the last one, and those 2 episodes are insane. It's super grim, and yeah, go check it out. Like the visuals on there as well are out of this world. Like I was looking at the floor, and there's bodies floating under the ice and whatever. I was like, this is insane. And anyway, the vampires as well. Anyway, go check it out. And then so we've got Sean started a new series as well. He's on the Outer Wilds. No, not. It's just called Outer Wilds, which is really fun and it's quite interesting to watch because the episode's up so far. You find out what Sean's real phobia is. It's quite funny. And then after that, so after that, actually, I'll be working on the PlayStation 5. So the week that this comes out, the PlayStation 5, because we're in the UK, I should be getting it on the Thursday. It's already been released everywhere else, and I'm sure you've probably seen about 1,000 things about it. But I'm gonna hope to get an Astro's Playroom review out, a Bugsnax review out, and the Pathless, because I'm gonna complete them 3 first, and then do maybe a first impressions of Demon Souls because I've already pre-ordered that.
I was going to say, are you doing Demon Souls? Because I'd be interested in watching your playthrough on that.
I'm not too sure if I'm going to do a playthrough of that as of right now, because it's apparently pretty hard to get stuff off your PlayStation 5 if you don't have a capture card. So so I think the capture card's dead easy. Is the easier way to do it. Whether I can stream it, I'm not too sure, and I'll pull it from there. I don't know. I'll work it out. But I might.
That's quite interesting because if I published the game, I would 100% be like, well, I want my game to be able to be taken off and put YouTube videos up because that all increases in sales, doesn't it?
It's just the hardware. It's the PS5 hardware and the software as well, because it's only been released in certain countries and territories now. From the 12th when it came out up until the 19th, which is this Thursday, and so when I get it, that'll be when I'd imagine all the day one patches are done. Well, day one patch plus more software firmware updates come out. So that'll be interesting. So I'll do a breakdown probably on the PlayStation 5 as well, because I imagine Sean's going to be yelling at me saying, "What does that feel like?" So,
I mean, I will too.
Yeah. So
you're doing that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yes, but other than that, if you stayed all the way to the end, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Throw a like and a subscribe down. That'd be great. Comments as well. Really want to hear from anyone who's listening to this. That'll be fantastic. And we'll try and field them. If not, if we get loads of comments on it as well, we'll do an episode to them, or we'll address them per episode, depending on how many we get. But anyway, thank you again, BT, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you very much. See you soon.